Welcome to the Monday Health Tip. You're actually going to get 5 super health tips all in one shot. So let's go for it. So in order to be your best in life, there's 5 main things you're going to want to be focusing on. So daily movement is one of the most important ones. More and more research is showing that people who exercise can actually stave off dementia and a lot of other things. My favorite type of exercise is burst training or surge training. It's very, very quick, it's very intense, but you can get it done in a couple of minutes a few times a week, and it has massive benefits for your health, your stress levels, and everything else. So that's my favorite type of exercise. And lifting weights and to keep toned is good too, that kind of thing. Next one, positive mental attitude. You know, life is what life is, and they always say it's not the situation that's happening to you, it's how you respond to the situation. So the more you can have a positive outlook on things, you know, not everything is positive, but, you know, just take it for what it is and try to be flexible in life. And we can help with that, especially with the type of care that we provide, network spinal analysis. It makes people a little more flexible in their decisions in their life, and they can have a bit more of a positive outlook on whatever happens to them. Quality sleep. That's my biggest challenge as a chiropractor. I'm one of those night hawks, and I used to get all my work done after 12 and that kind of thing, and I'm trying the best I can, but ideally, you want it the first 2 hours before midnight, or we call them the golden hours of sleep. That's where your body will actually do more restorative REM sleep than pretty much the rest of the evening. So the better you are at getting to bed before midnight, the better it is. So that's your quality sleep. And the last one is eating right. Almost the last one. Eating right, that's an important one. Obviously, what I always say, if it's not a real food, don't eat it. Ideally, or the majority of the time. You know, I still get caught eating some junk here and there, and my wife will say it's a lot more than you think, but it's there. But anyway, the idea is, we call it, if it's not what I consider real food, is if there wasn't technology, there wasn't farming, and you know, we didn't have really any weapons, what would we be able to eat? You know, what we could pick off trees, what we could pull out of the ground. You know, stealing eggs, we could probably do that. You know, with some rocks, we might be able to take out some poultry, that kind of thing, or some small animals. And maybe with a bunch of friends, maybe we could take down a cow or something like that. It'd be once or twice a month, or something like that. So that's how your real food would be, those things there. So let's say you have a really picky kid, and he says, you know, my kid is picky, and he only likes grapes. That's it. He only eats grapes. Well, the one recommendation would be then, before you give him his dinner, I mean, it's not ideal for food combining and all that kind of stuff, but it's just at least to get more vegetables or more I call it fresh fiber, meaning a vegetable or a fruit. If he only likes grapes, try to feed him a couple of grapes before every dinner, for example. So that way, he's actually getting fresh fiber into his diet. Fresh fiber meaning a fiber source from a fruit or vegetable that's not cooked, it's not in a can or anything like that. It's actually the raw fruit or the vegetable. But you just give him that before every meal. And so then in the course of the year, he's eaten maybe 365 more, you know, servings of grapes than he would have in the past. I mean, it's not the ideal, a lot of sugar and everything else, but at least it's a fiber source that maybe if you didn't give him that at all, then he wouldn't have that source. So that's one way you can kind of, you know, hit your kids up. Just try to get one fresh raw vegetable or fruit before the meal. If they're kind of a picky eater, just try to get that one thing in them before they're eating their meal. So that's one way to get more raw vegetables and fruit and fiber into the diet. Last one, central to everything else, central to all this stuff, is having a healthy spine and nervous system. You know, we keep talking about that all the time. Your brain and your nervous system is what controls and regulates how your body is going to assimilate and do all of this stuff. Hormone levels, digestion, all of that stuff is controlled by your brain and your nerve system. So if you have a healthy brain, they can actually have a healthy body, and all of these things will be much more integrated and be healthier if you take care of that. So once again, obviously, from as soon as you can get a baby in to see a chiropractor after they're born, the better it is, because stress on the spine almost always happens from the birth process. And then from there on in life, all the other stresses, toxins, traumas, thoughts, you know, physical stresses, all that stuff is affecting your spine every day. So make sure you and your kids are going to the chiropractor regularly. So that's your health tip for this week. If you liked the video, please share it or like it, and we'll see you next week.